guys? I'm here, baking some bread. I2P based, currently working on the index HTML for my possible Eep site. You should. I2P based, we're gonna see. I just watched a, what do you call it? Okay. I just watched a video on RT right to privacy on how to set this up. We're going to look at it. I think I2P is super underrated, and I would like to maybe look at Freenet as well again, because I think that there's some sauce there in a sense when it comes to the fact that there really isn't a lot of options out there besides Tor. That is a problem. Where'd it go? Okay, there we go. I heard for 2 years that Tor is infiltrated. What's your definition of infiltrated? Based. Active peers? Where's mine at? I need to increase my bandwidth so that I can make my ISP cry because they're a bunch of bitches. I believe active. I have 12. It'll fluctuate, right, though. And if I increase my bandwidth, I think it will. Yeah, I need to increase. Okay. Download speed. Let's add a 0 to that. Upload speed, 0. Nice. Okay, so my active peers should increase, and I should get more bandwidth so that my ISP cries more, because they suck and I hate them. You're also on Firewall Network. You can see if the firewall above Wait, what do you mean? I am firewalled. I know I'm firewalled. It's a common issue with a lot of people be on like standard. It's a common problem on standard ISPs. Oh, that was my chair. I wish I knew what the numbers mean. Active means that you're active peers that you're connecting with. Fast is like, I believe, that's like the speed. My IPv4 is good, but IPv6 is firewalled. Always IPv6 issues, guys. I believe there's like a reseeding seeds. Abridge I2P. If your router has 10 or more active peers, everything is fine. The router should maintain connections to a few peers at all times. Oh, the numbers in the configure bandwidth screen. Oh, that's just the amount of bandwidth that you're going to give. So the more increased speed, the better, essentially. If you consider every EAP site that has ever been created, yes, most of them are down. People and EAP sites come and go. Oh, nice. Not Bob is the best way. I'm going to take this off screen for a second because I try to be careful on certain settings. I don't know what information it gives because, again, you're a router. There's even a section called New User Guide, Billy. Oh, there's something called Bigly BT. The successor to is a BitTorrent client that supports torrenting over I2P. Wow, that's kind of based, actually. In the router info, it shows your IP address. Oh, of course. It's going to show your public IP address. That might not matter, depending on what country you live in. Oh, nice. It's up. And it's GitHub. GitHub I2P mentioned. Let me see. Mine is showing. I wonder if I can change it. Flood participation helps the network, but it may be more use of computer's resources. This router's currently. Oh, nice. I should do flood enforcement, flood participant. Based, actually. Gonna save. More resources, but more decentralization. That is the beauty of it. 4-day uptime, though. Bandwidth, clients, homepage, I2, I2CP, keyring, logging. I'm more worried about other people, more or less. I don't want to expose anything that might be bad for other people. That's what I really care about. So I'm going to get out of that. Nice. I'm participating in flooding. Why are the kilobytes per second MB values in the config bandwidth on the screen different when you convert among them? That's a good question. I actually don't know. I just go for the highest bandwidth I can. I did a test the first time, and it was like, hey, do this. Like, do this much. Nice. Active 28 peers. So 10 or more is fine. That seems like what it says. But I just try to go for the higher bandwidth. I'm not entirely sure. I just pick high numbers, to be completely honest. I never figured out if it was a good thing or a bad thing. I just hate my ISP, so if anything that uses more bandwidth, I'm all for it. Okay. Doesn't matter, I guess. It's so fucking weird. So I keep running into this issue with my media server. It's only on my media server. Everything points to that I'm having a hardware failure. But if that was true, none of my other things would work. It keeps saying service failed to spawn executor input-output error. Don't know what that means. Billy, do you know what that means? It keeps saying like I have an input-output error only on my media server. Nothing else. It's very weird. So this is the Bigly BT. Downloading over ITP will be slower over than the input-output errors. Most likely your system does not have the root FS drive plugged in. Have you tried rebooting the affected system? So it does it on, it's in a virtual machine. It's on Proxmox. It doesn't matter which one I put it in. It does the same. It comes back with the same problem. So I put it in, let's just say Proxmox V2. I first came across this issue. I got nervous because I thought it was my hard drives, but I'm like, that doesn't make sense. All of my other systems would probably be going through this. Then I went and killed it and rebuilt it in Proxmox V1, the other node, node 1. Maybe I should be just saying node 1, node 2. After I reboot, the problem goes away, and then it immediately comes back. And I've taken the logs, I've looked through them, I've searched left and right on the errors, like all the errors like in like forums. I've shoved it into AI, being like, what the fuck's this? I guess like this may matter. So for the longest time, this RAM usage would be at peak at all times. I have swap enabled. Nothing else is having the problem, but a reboot doesn't happen. It times out. So I do a restart. I restart the VM, but the RAM always spikes up to like 14 gigs. And I was like, oh, maybe it's a RAM issue. Maybe I'm running into a RAM issue. And then it goes away. So I moved it from PV2 to PV1, and I still run into the same problem. And I don't know what it is. It's always memory usage is always at the highest. And some sources said, I wonder if I reboot the whole thing. But it wouldn't make sense. Now, I backed up everything, so I'm not too worried. If I just don't want to rebuild all this shit. I backed everything up, so I'm not too worried. But it's very strange that it's only with my media stack that does like all my movies and stuff. And I've done smart tests. I've looked at like log files to see like, is there something here that I'm missing? And I haven't figured out. This just happened out of nowhere too. And I've had this on Proxmox. This isn't like new, where I'm like doing like I seed too. So I'm very confused on what the issue could be. Everything goes to hardware failure. Everything points to hardware failure, but that wouldn't make any sense. Because all my other things, like my Joplin server, I checked, no problem, no RAM, it's got swap. And also this has got swap enabled, my media server. But this is what comes up. Oh, yeah. USB serial number, it comes up with this one, Informant. Yeah, this is the bad one. This is the one where it fucks up the entire thing. And I have to rebuild it, and it's kind of a headache. Because when I reboot it, this doesn't happen until out of nowhere. It says file system check of the root file system failed. Root file system fdisk. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's an Ubuntu thing or if it's a virtual machine thing, because this isn't a virtual machine. Everything else is in a container. And this is pretty much what happens. QEM, USB tablet device, blah, blah, blah. This is in XFCE. XF4. And when I try to gather all this information, I can't copy and paste it, unfortunately. Well, maybe I can now. Control. No. Doesn't let me. Oh, maybe. And now I can't. It won't let me SSH into it. It's very strange. I've checked the internet for these these problems. It's been very strange. It's a very strange issue that's only happening with my media. And then my port, I can't SSH into it. Because it like closes it. It pretty much goes. Now what the thing is, when I run FSCK manually, nothing happens. Where is it? Scanning for Btrfs. Maybe I should run it. Maybe for media I should put it in Btrfs. Well, the thing actually, I have some snapshots I can probably roll back to, but yeah, this is the issue I get. It's something with the CPU. And looking up on the internet, it gives me like something to fix it. I don't know. Where is it? Unexpected code. Where is it? BusyBox, Ubuntu, something, interferams. Okay. Running mount. Oh, here we go. Fdisk. Well, first I gotta do init ramfs. Okay. Fdisk. Yeah, damage worked. Hogged CPU. The thing is, like, the CPU's, it's not, none of it's like going up. Fdisk. Tech L. Okay. LSBLK. Tech L. DH Tech H. LS. Yeah, I'm in this environment. And even if I reboot, it does nothing. Last time I killed it, and it kind of worked, but I don't know. Maybe I should pick a different robust system, file system. Might have to rebuild it. Oh god, I hate doing it. Even from snapshots, it's. Let me see. Let me do this. Roll back. So I love snapshots. Snapshots were a fucking nightmare. Okay. Maybe the internet. XF4. Interesting. I'm going to try a rollback. Maybe I should do... I'm going to try rollback. If not, I'm going to try Btrfs. Even though I hate it. I've never had a good experience with it. Oh, let's see if I can go back to roll back to Big Move. Or maybe I could... Maybe it's too much storage. Maybe like 600 gigs is a lot. Because I don't really have a lot of fucking... I don't really have a lot of media that I need. That could be it. It could be just too much. Okay, rolled back. And we're going to start. Alright, it's here. Obviously I can't change the file system, but I wonder if I downgrade the storage. Oh, I rolled it back to 11 gigs though. We're going to shut that down. Okay. We're going to change it to 15. And we're going to do hard disk. Caching wouldn't help. There we go. Nope. Maybe I shouldn't do SCSI controller. Maybe I should do something else. Nah, I've never had a problem with it. Someone says Q35 is better though. I like, man, don't use that shit. Don't use that shit of Kali. I would never use Kali at Linux, unironically. Oh, there we go. Kali Linux is... Oh, it's not going to let me change the storage amount. Fuck. I think Kali Linux is got its benefits for people that... Damn, why can't I... Oh, wait, I can edit it. No, I can't. Oh, disk action. Never mind. I'm retarded. Yes, I can. Resize. Yeah. Resize. Size increments. Let's do 300. But I did 300 before. No, it added. No! Go back. Resize. Reassign owner. Move storage. No, why wouldn't... What? Go down. Go down. No. Can I go negative? Ah, damn. 0? Huh? No, it's not. It's going to make it bigger. I'm going to have to destroy it. I'm going to try some. I'm going to have a different approach for lazy dumbasses. I wouldn't say it's lazy. It's just... It's bloated. It's just pre-installed tools. It's less work. Like if you're doing like pen testing for a living and you what would you rather do? Fucking you know what I mean? What would you rather do? Would you rather compile everything and download everything before a job or just have it there? I mean, it kind of depends. There's uses for Kali Linux just like there's uses for like Gen 2. It just all depends. Based. I'm gonna have to dig deeper into my media issue, which I'll probably spend next like 3 to 5 hours figuring it out later. But that's okay. We're gonna look at this. Just like how Tor has its place. Just like how Tor has its place, I think I2P has its place. Damn, this is gonna suck. Bro, no one see the Kali. What the hell is... Bro, I think Kali is the top. No one. The hose. I have no idea what you're talking about. There's probably people out there that use Kali. It's cool. I don't care. I don't like Debian. I don't like Debian at all. I think Debian is really not good. Actually, I'm gonna rebuild it while I'm live. I think that'll work while I do two things at once. We're gonna kill this. I would even say that Kali Linux is just like people that use Backtrack. People use Backtrack like way before Kali. I think that was like peak, like the peak use. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own wrong opinion, man. I'm just not a Debian fan. I don't like most long-term LTS like software. Ever since I touched rolling release, I'm retarded. Maybe I should put this in my ZFS. Ooh. I'll figure it out later. We'll try here one more time. Well, we'll try here. Create a VM. We'll look at this. So downloading over RTP will be slower than over the public internet for fairly obvious reasons. Connections are routed through various peers to provide anonymity and privacy. These other peers forward the network traffic to other peers. If you have to say 2 intermediate peers between the start and the end of the overall connection, every byte sent will be required the network to transport 3 bytes overall. Initial peer, first intermediate, second intermediate, final peer. Also, connection establishment is more complex, and obviously connection latency is much higher than directional connections over the internet. 1 second, guys. I need to get water. APT slow. App slow. True. Biased. Well, yeah, I am biased, but I've also used both LTS and rolling release, and I like rolling release. I like bleeding edge more. I like rolling release. People say it's unstable, but I don't believe that. I've never really had. I had an issue with my Void Linux because I forgot to update it because I'm retarded. I had one issue, and I figured out the issue, and it fixed it. I didn't have to reinstall. I didn't have to think. It was awesome. I kept having a mirror issue too. But I am biased. I think rolling release is based. Long live Arch. Ryan, what's up? OpenSUSE is the most stable rolling release. Void's been stable. It's just not been. JK, man. It's just not. I've never been attracted to using OpenSUS. So there's also overhead association with running the I2P network itself, so you'll see some of your bandwidth being used for this. The default bandwidth available for I2P use is limited. You'll probably want to consider upping the limits or plugging in the plugin configuration options. There's also options to link the I2P limits over Bigly BT limits. Is it working? Once the plugin is installed, you will see an I2P icon on the status bar. If you hover over the mouse, you will see a tulip giving the status of I2P. If things are working, you should see a status of something like accepting most tunnels and uploading download speed of at least a few kilobytes a second. More information is displayed. In the log view. In the log view, I2P helpers see this. Another thing to check in is the liveness of various I2P DHTs. Double-click the status bar icon, I2P helper, statistics view, and the mix DHT status tab on the left should be selected. Look at the general area top user fields. Should something below 50, transport details, controlling bandwidth, blah, blah, blah. Browsing EAP sites. An EAP site is a website only available through I2P and has a URL ending in I2P. For example, there is a statistics website. If you try to browse that, usually the home for NetBD statistics. Latest news. And this hasn't been used since 2023. Plugins. Oh, cool. This is on GitHub though, so it's kind of based. GitHub I2P. Opening EAP site links in Bigly BT, HTTP spreading networking mix. In order to increase the availability of torrents downloaded via I2P plugin support, okay, let's see. Message encryption. It doesn't use message stream encryption when connecting to over public node networks such as I2P, although your settings will of course be respected for public network connection on a mixed network download. The reason is that stream is already encrypted and obfuscated, so another layer of encryption on top of this is a waste of resource, no benefits. True. This is why HTTPS doesn't really matter. If you run an external I2P service, i.e. the external router option on BiglyBT configuration and install, manage I2P separately, then you'll probably be familiar with the I2P router console. This gives you access to all sorts of interesting information about I2P systems. For Android range settings, the menu, oh nice, you can do it from Android. Android based. BiglyBT for Android has a range of settings and menus. One more, nice. You can get it Android. Where was that again? Let me just get back. Huh. Torrenting. Router info. Tunnel manager. Manage plugins. Picture of a family though. Router family. Routers in the same family share the same key. Oh. Nope, that's not it. Stats. Nice. We can get dark themes that look cool. Oh, I can download it. Oh, so Bigly BT is a separate software since 2003. Interesting. It's interesting that I can open it up in an I2P site. So if you look at this, like if I just go JJJJJJ, it's not going to open. Oh, it shouldn't. Because I2P you shouldn't be able to visit regular sites on the ClearNet. Huh. It should refuse it. Wow, that's interesting. I've never been able to visit ClearNet sites with my. It's interesting with my Firefox browser. When it's connected to I2P and it's running, it generally doesn't let me run to just normal websites. That's But this works. Normally when it's I2P, maybe it changed. I believe some people said that there are exit nodes in testing now, though. I think proxy just lets you do that. I think the proxy just... But normal, like, not even just too long ago, it wouldn't let me... It would just say connection refused. It wouldn't let me visit other sites because you're like kind of like in the intranet, and that's like the point of I2P. That's... Proxy terms of service. I2P network is a peer-to-peer overlay network. Proxying to the ClearNet is not part of the design. Regards of its communication practice networks feature, the I2P project itself does not run any proxies on the internet. The I2P software includes the default out proxy, exit, storm, I2P. These are run. The I2P project itself does not run any proxies. The I2P software includes a default out proxy, exit, storm, I2P. These are run by Stormy Cloud. By default, I2P comes with the out proxy configured exit Stormy Cloud I2P. I2P sites that are accessible via I2P addresses are not allowed via the out proxies. The Tor browser provides user. Okay, interesting. So, that's interesting. It used to never let me. Maybe I had it disabled and maybe I'm smoking crack. So this seems like a ad-free BitTorrent client since 2003. They seem very active, and they support also I2P, which is pretty based. No offers, no ads. I2P is too good for fresh news and is too close. Tentor is too good for fresh news and is too close. Yeah, I mean, I2P has some advantages against the onion routing protocol versus how they do garlic routing, so it's definitely one of those interesting things. I'll have to dig deeper in that. But RTP, I'm gonna have to RTP I2P. Here's a video. He's like Linus Tech Tips, but funnier. And there's not 30 ads. He has a way to set it up with HexChat, so I'm gonna download HexChat and get it working. I don't even know what I name this. Definitely remember to give RTP a like and a share. I watched the guy's videos on setting up I2P, though I didn't need his I2P video. You should always like and enjoy I2P videos.
What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be...
But he has, I don't want to steal his content, guys. Not a reactions channel, but I'm going to download HexChat. I didn't know HexChat was even a thing. I was more of a Pigeon Chat enjoyer. HexChat based on XChat. Oh, nice. GitHub. Oh, Flatpak support. Wow. Yo. It says it's been discontinued. Yeah, wow. HexChat discontinued. That's sad. Maybe I should use Pigeon. Accounts. I'm gonna just edit. Can I delete? Yeah. We'll just delete that. There we go.
But download it directly from i2pplus.github.io.
Yeah, base.
Setup. You will have this. This is what your browser will look like. So make sure to check out.
It's true. It's what your browser should look like. super green and super green and super terminal, super matrix looking. Oh, is there a hype option? No hype? I don't know.
From my earlier content showing how to get all that set up. I don't want to rehash everything. It's going to come well. You'll install HexChat, and that'll install it for you. Now, your I2P Plus Manager one is not, this would stop it, but it's I2P.
Is this does this look like Debian, or does this look like XFCE?
Installed that. It would stop. It's to the a different setup.
Okay. IRC. See, that was my problem. When I saw the I2PRC network, I saw this. I saw the gold thing in the middle. Maybe that's not a problem. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm retarded. Though I will say, configuration peers, bandwidth, torrent manager. There we go. Yep, seems like it's.
You may need to add IRC as the type of tunnel, and then you'll have localhost as where you're connecting to, and that's yourself basically. And then the port is 6668. Now, unfortunately,
Legendary.
it looks like it is in standby mode at the moment, so it just figures when I'm recording that happens. But the main thing is, let's open the IRC client. It may not.
See, mine is in standby mode still too, and I don't know if it's a me thing. It's weird. Oh wait, nope. It looks like it has hops 3 in, 3 out. Killtowns IRC.
May not be ready to connect yet. You need to give it some time. So we'll go ahead and open up HexChat. So hopefully you followed with me so far. And the next thing you're going to need to do is add a new network. I'm going to be starting this over. I already have it, but I want to.
Okay, so we're gonna. IRC is pretty based, Jay. You're probably just as old as IRC, being in your late 30s, early 40s. Remember IRC app rooms? Okay, so we're going to add. I won't be able to follow because I don't have HexChat.
I'm going to show you how to add it. So we'll do I2P tutorial, I'm naming it. You'll probably want to name it something like I2P Postman IRC, which is what the host is Postman. And then what we'll need to do is edit it, the server, so we're going to need to set that up. And this is basically where we put all the information we need to put in. So 127.0.0.1 and then slash and then the port we need 6668. Okay, we've got that. Now, here's another key factor for you. Use SSL for all servers.
Advanced, so, mining BTC and using IRC. And if you only would have kept Bitcoin, you would be super millionaire rich. Okay, no SSL.
Servers, not on this one. Now, normally.
Okay, basic username balls. Big balls. Making $10 a week. Nice. Think of what that would have been today, in today's money, so you can be sad.
On IRC, you would have this enabled, but because we're using
I think I got it. This is where I do 127.0.0.1. /6668.
I2P, we're actually not going to be using it that way. So what we need to do is we need to not enable the SSL for all the server. Check this point, this, like I created a simple channel, and channel will hit auto join that, and I'll show you how to find other chat rooms. So basically, what is IRC?
My username would be Big Balls. Password, need to put a password. The difficulty was high as fuck when it became $100. But if you would have just kept, man, that's the point. I can just exit that. IRC NIC server may not contain white space. I'm available. Huh. New status. I've been disabled. Mentally disabled. I'm rich with knowledge. You would be also rich with you'd be rich with millions of dollars, which sounds better than knowledge. You have the knowledge that you could go back. Okay. Accounts enabled. Maybe I removed that part because the port's already there. Oh, there we go. Nope. I've been thinking lately about the 3D printer restriction laws. They might not only stop firearm prints, but also spare parts prints because of copyright BS, but I think it can be fixed within Arduino. You could also just do local, as long as you don't update your firmware. Of course that it's gonna be bad. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm luckily that I have a 3D printer that requires no online access. Crypto is down bad lately. Yeah, everything is. Everything is a
Well, IRC
scam.
is internet.
Well, sorry, not scam. Let me rephrase that. Everything is being manipulated, if that makes sense. Bitcoin has been manipulated for a long time. I've been saying this for a long time. Bitcoin got compromised the second big tech companies got involved. It removed the ability for the common person to get involved. But this is a problem with Bitcoin in general, because it's not ASIC resistant, so you're going to compete against people with more money than you. All my crypto is on a loss. Well, I only hold the true and tried Monero, and even though Monero is down, actually I don't care about Monero's price. Let me make that statement. Obviously I don't want Monero to go to zero, but Monero has been consistent with me so far because I use it. I have a use perspective.
It is a old school way of chatting online, and anyone who's interested in Linux, open source, GNU, all of those types of that.
Pigeon. There are similar applications for OS. It's called Adun.
Now they also have a guide here, right, on GetI2.
After launching Pigeon, you should see the buddy list window. For that window, you open Accounts, Menu, Toolbar, select Manage Accounts to begin configuring an ITP account.
P.net. So
Maybe.
if you...
Oh, I need to do username at I2 at. Okay, I think that's where I'm retarded. I need to do an at. I'm a dummy. Username. Oh, wait. Username at 12, yeah, 127. Advanced, no S. Ident name. The fuck is that? Huh. Basic IRC, user, and then password. The fuck would I need a password for? Oh, maybe that's all I need to do. No, never mind. Select IRC under the protocol and select the host to 1271 and then pick the username and password. IRC does not require you to register a nickname to join, but you may wish if you after you connect to IRC I2P. I could have helped you with IRC.
Aren't very clear about this video, you can also take a look here and see how they've set it up in Pigeon Client, which is a different option.
Seems like it works, but it has the word disabled, like me. Well, I'm doing IRC over I2P, which is its own thing. You can be taxed on fiat currencies because you actually don't own it. You're only borrowing it from the government. Don't forget your IC nickname, or else you can't log in later. You can be taxed on anything. If you live in a society, like right now, it doesn't matter if you have crypto or not. If the government finds out you have crypto, they're gonna tax you. That's what I'm saying. Like. The problem is people act like they're going to do all this tax evasion, and then they realize, oh wait, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be you live in a normal society. You're just going to be taxed. You can be taxed anywhere. Motherfucker, why are you in standby mode? I don't want to restart it. Tunnel destination to IRC Postman. Do I have to change that?
But they also
did I miss an important part?
Basically, and then the port is 666, and
did I forget an important part?
That's yourself, basically, and then the port is 6668. Now, unfortunately, it looks like it is in standby mode at the moment, so just...
Yeah, so is mine. Why doesn't it work? Yep. Okay. Nope. 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 Damn, I need to watch this in like 2x speed or something.
And that's how you'll do it. Then you'll have a register in the red and
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have skipped that far.
to make sure nobody can pretend they're
Oh yeah,
shared.
that's what he talks about registering.
Every time you connect to the network. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to go ahead back to our network list. I hope you're with me. Maybe I'll do this as a video that I can put a live chat on, so if anyone has questions, well,
That's what we need. We need live tech support. Why isn't it fucking... Let me refresh. Okay. HTTP, it says it's ready, but it says it's in standby mode. Am I retarded? Maybe the internet needs, I need internet. Why is I2P IRC in standby mode after running for days? Maybe that'll tell me. Maybe I should fix the W. Huh. If they tax your Monero, then that is theft because you don't control it or decide. Look, I don't make the laws, bro, but real prison is going to really happen if you commit real crimes. Don't know what to tell you. Like, we can, these, like, theoretical, like, taxation as theft is such a retarded thing to even care about. If you get caught committing a crime in your current country, it doesn't matter what you think. That's my point. Do I agree with it? No. That doesn't mean I agree with it. But what I will say is people having these thoughts doesn't do anything. Just like the people that buy Bitcoin thinking that they're avoiding taxes. There was someone quite recently that was doing this, and they're in prison now. So they can have all the thoughts they want about how they hate the current system, about what they think isn't theft, or etc., and all these theories. It doesn't change anything. You still clock into your McDonald's job and hand people their fries. Doesn't change. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Sir, this is a Wendy's, put the fries in the back. Look at the people that got arrested for making code because they were operating a business without a license. The government doesn't give a shit about your libertarian fantasies. This is like why it doesn't matter. And again, if you disagree with these systems, there are tons of countries that operate with less taxing, that operate with less government oversight. Just move there. You know what I mean? It's probably it's just like I don't understand why people even. In a sense, why they even care. It's cool to care, but like, I don't see why they care. It hasn't changed in 300 years of America. It's not going to change in another 300 years. And if it does, cool. If it doesn't, I don't care. I think there are more important things to focus on than people cosplaying anti-government agorist mentality. I like Monero for one thing and one thing only. It's private money. It is a way to obtain digital privacy online with purchasing power. That's the point. The taxation thing is whatever. I don't really care because the taxes haven't changed in, again, the last 300 years of America. Or 200 years or 100 years or whatever part that people want to point to. And there are going to be businesses that accept Monero that are going to fork over their private view key, be at their own will. and operate legally. Doesn't matter. I think that's like the most sensible thing. People that make all these like arguments against like taxation, they never commit tax fraud. And when they do and they go to prison, they cry and they ask for a reduced sentence. That's generally my take on the whole taxation thing. It's a boring, circular argument. I think 80%, maybe I could even go down to 50%. Let me go down to 50%. 50% of people go back to their job, pay their taxes, abide by the law, and then continue to complain. When if you have free will and it's a free society and it's a free country, more than welcome to leave it. I know tons of tech YouTubers that move to like reduced tax countries. They move to countries that have less restrictions and oversight. They love it. Some don't love it. Some move back. Some go. It's just a perspective. Again, Monero's core principle to me, if I trade with seashells as a currency, are they going to take 30% of my seashells? Sure. Can you take your seashells and buy anything with it? Can you go into a store and purchase anything with a seashell? No, you can't. That's retarded to even bring up. And if you trade seashells even for a house, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to pay taxes on it. Doesn't matter. You have to pay property tax. You're going to have to pay taxes to get to the place. You're taxed when you drive. You're taxed when you pull gas. You're taxed when you buy the equipment to get it. I mean, I'm just pointing out that it's a silly thing to even care about. And 30%, again, 30% of what? Of like 100 seashells that you obtained? And I would say seashells doesn't really define as a currency. Currencies are accepted as a mass adoption. If everyone agrees this is a currency, let's say 80% of the United States or whatever, they're going to agree that it's a currency. This is why I can't walk into a store with seashells and them take it, because people don't agree that seashells fits the identity of a currency. You need a consensual agreement of currency. It can't just be an individual, I traded seashells for something. I mean, if somebody sees this as a currency to them and a use, which wouldn't make any sense because, again, seashells, I can just go pick them up. I don't need you to get the seashells. Then sure. I mean, is the government going to come take 30% of your seashells? Probably not, because it'd be stupid. And what did you trade for it? I mean, it's just like such a broad, like, stupid way of looking at it. In my opinion, I don't know. I think people complain about taxes and they just go back to their McDonald's job and sir, this is a Wendy's, put the fries in the bag. I mean, like, do I like taxes? I don't think anyone does. Except unless you're the government. But it's, again, the seashell thing was just kind of stupid. That's how I look at it. Back to more fun and cool things. And I know the vast majority of the Monero community is super, super for Monero's privacy, and that's what makes it very, very loved and cared about on a tax. But there's probably tons of companies that accept Monero and they just show their VK and they're like, here's my 30% government, have a nice day, because I don't want to be arrested and put in jail forever, or butt pounding prison for a couple of years or whatever. I want to know why IRC is not working. Okay, maybe proxy? No. Oh, should I use global proxy settings or no proxy? Let me see that. Maybe that's where I fucked up. Secure Blue Commodity is extremely smooth playing with weird LLMs on VMs. Secure Blue, how about Secure? We need to make the counter argument of there must be Secure Red that's insecure and based on Debian instead of Fedora. We need to make an insecure version of Debian. Debian's already insecure. We need to make an insecure version of Debian and make secure. I should make a counter, more insecure version called unsecured red that gives people unfederated access. That would and I should vibe code it. That'd be really funny. Huh. Oh yeah, there we go. No. There we go. Do. Okay. So to configure the IRC tunnel I2P first make sure IRC tunnel is available, and look for IRC I2P client. And if the status indicator on the right hand is yellow or green, your I2P tunnel is. Oh, so if it's yellow or green, your IRC I2P tunnel is ready, and you should proceed to the next step. Okay. Destination, IRC, Postman, IRC. Any IRC client can be connected to the IRC tunnel, but details and instructions for several popular clients are provided below. Okay, the buddy list. Manage accounts, configure I2P. Add the button in the window and select IRC under the protocol and set the host to 1, and then pick a username and password. IRC does not require a nickname. Oh, okay. Field disabled since your tunnel has encryption provided by IRTP. Motherfucker, it seems like it should work. What am I doing wrong? Basic, big balls. IRC, and it should be enabled. Oh, it should be enabled. Okay, yeah. Advanced. SSL disabled. Ooh, I think that's what it is. 668, that's what it. That's the oopsie. Okay, I found it. Save. Buddies. Manage accounts. Can I enable you now? Motherfucker. Enable? May not contain white space. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Because I have a... Oh, maybe? That's what it is. Damn. Invalid proxy setting. Enter either the host name or the port number specified you given is invalid. So we figured out that problem. And then if I open up It's called Ubuntu, huh? True. It is called Ubuntu. There we go. Unable to connect. Advance. Ubuntu haters for real. Man, this bitch is trying to get hurt. What is it? 668. Yeah. What the fuck is going on? Yep. SSL gone. Ooh, that's what I need to do. Either hostname or the port number specifically given is invalid. Huh. What do you mean invalid? What is the internet? Man, I have way too many tabs open. It's very strange. Username. Yep. Huh. It's very strange. Maybe the internet will tell me. Start my ITP terminal. Have you tried with another client, like WeChat example? I've just noticed the number of display. I believe that this means it is on standby. I've stopped it or starting with some between. It just goes back to standby yellow. Okay, but it seems like yellow is okay. Either the host name. Oh, maybe the proxy type is invalid. Proxy. Use environmental settings. Reconnect. That's what it was. Oh, hell yeah. So that was my big oopsie. So it was using global settings when, damn it. Oh, wait. Notice, if your ping timeout, are you looking for Boomer CLI chat rooms on IRC? Yes. Notice, if you ping timeout, you may now be running an old version of ITP. Nice. I got it to work, baby. So you have to change. I'm retarded. It's weird that the documentation doesn't say that. The proxy needs to be set to use environmental settings, and that will make it work. Nice. Next serve, conversations, join a chat, account. Please enter the information about the chat you'd like to join.
Along the way, I can help register your own chat room. So, yeah,
what was the chat room? Yeah.
So at this point, it's going to message Nick an ABC actual list, and then we will forget and name to Acrorism and settings set. Remember, you do have end-to-end encryption.
I think actually, he has it on here. Ooh. Is a right to privacy one. Postman IRC, right to hashtag right to privacy, right? Oh, nice. Yeah, it works. Maybe I should change my name. We need more waifu A on these streams. True. I should find a way to do VR. I should find a way to do VR. VR chat, like the VR headset chat people. That'd be kind of funny. I would pick Infinite Waifu. After a few comments, asked if there's a chat room. In fact, but one of the original intents for creating RTP. Oh, wait. Actually, one of the intentions was an IRC chat room. I thought it was for torrenting. We need more. Topic for Right to Privacy set by RTP BBL 2/1 of 2026. Oh, okay. Joining. Okay. Oh, 4 people. Nice. Postman. Nick serve. Chan serve help. Okay. Oh, that's oh, cool. That's all I need to do is fucking change 2 settings. It's so funny. It's funny when you overthink stuff. Very based. Okay. Wow. Interesting and based I2P moment. So you two guys can also go on I2P and chat with cool people. It seems like I'm retarded. Interesting. Oh wow, crypto crash. Trending. The fuck? Gold crash, buy crypto back, crypto dump harder. What is this guy educating on crypto? I always like crypto educators. They're like the dumbest people on the internet. Truly, scary thoughts. I think that most of, if not all, actually. I'm sorry, I didn't know I had to pay taxes for mining Monero. I just searched on it. I thought I only need to pay taxes after I convert it to fiat. Since I mean, anytime you curate any form of asset that has a monetary value in the which crypto has been ruined because the amount of big companies just buying into it has made it where the government is going to tax people on it. Now, if you were to go back like 50, maybe 40, not 50, let me redact that. That's retarded. If you go back to 2010 or 2012 and you were mining Bitcoin, I highly doubt that the government would care to send an IRS agent to you, because it is not a financial problem at this point. There is no assumed value yet at Bitcoin in the public eye where everyone starts agreeing upon the asset as a monetary value. Now, more people know what Bitcoin is. They know it's used to launder money and avoid taxes or whatever. And it's now becoming an agreed upon type of currency because more people are consensually accepting it. That's how currency works. If gold didn't have its value, if people didn't give a fuck about gold, if the vast majority of people didn't agree on gold, they would fundamentally not give a shit about gold, and you could take gold and put your assets into gold and like avoid taxes and be more anonymous or whatever. The real thing is to sit down and actually think that you are playing, you're playing checkers against 50 master chess deep players. That's the problem. There's nothing you can do because you're a citizen, and you're not a corporation, and there's nothing that will change the system on a small, minute level. I think if people want to use Monero to maintain a level of financial privacy, whatever, that's fine. That's their choice. That's the motive that they have. But you have to be the Monero circular economy. You can't be taking Monero and exchanging it for fiat. That's retarded. You're going back to the system that you hate. If you actually wanted to achieve financial wealth, financial independence, and actually bank yourself, you would clearly pick Monero. Monero is the superior option. It's not a public ledger like Bitcoin is. It's not traceable as long as you have good OPSEC and you run your own node. Tons of companies accept it. They don't give a fuck where it came from. They just accept it. They're not going to be like Alaskan Moose 69420 fucking bought 6 cups of coffee this week with Monero. Nobody cares because they can't know who you are. That's the point of Monero. Monero isn't a way, again, for me to not participate in society. It's a way for me to have financial privacy, and I use it and believe in the circular Monero economy. So, like, I buy stuff with Monero. I trade stuff with Monero. I buy, fucking trinkets or whatever, That's the point of it. That would be the hypothetical scenario where Monero has its advantages. It's truly its own thing. But you have to be invested into the circular economy and not be looking for all these ways to swap Monero for a different currency and become a millionaire overnight. It's not like that. If you want financial independence and you want to be your own bank, use Monero, buy Monero, use it. Don't store it and sit on it and wait for it to 10x. Just use it. That's it. You want financial privacy? You want financial independence? You don't want to be audited like Bitcoin? There's your option. And there's companies that will tax you. Like they'll be like, sorry, you have to pay tax. We don't care. Or they'll discount it because they see the future of Monero and they might go to a higher accumulation of Monero. That's the thing. I'm surprised for the longest time, even like darknet markets were still using Bitcoin even after Monero's its resurgence. I mean, if you really wanted to become like a millionaire and like 10 years ago, you could have put a couple $1,000 into Monero when it was very inexpensive and very cheap and very low, like around 2014, 2015, and just sat on it till its all-time high, which is about $700. That's a long waiting game. That's 10 years. So boom, I thought I only needed to pay taxes after I converted to fiat since the banks don't accept it. And the thing is, if you think the federal government's going to let you make money and increase your value and your net worth and not pay taxes on it, that's crazy. That's why on tax forms now they ask if you traded crypto. Because again, it's a public ledger. It's all audible. When you go to KYC exchanges, they're going to report you. They're a business. When you buy with your credit card, they're going to report it. They're a business. Businesses that want to operate legal and stay legal in the United States or whatever country you're in, it doesn't matter. They're going to do it. They don't give a fuck about you and your $18 of Dogecoin that you bought. That's the harsh reality of it. They're going to operate, and if the federal government comes by and is like, hey, user 15678 did a lot of trading last year. What's their real identity? We don't like that we don't like this. And then they're going to be at your fucking doorstep, sending you a letter, whatever. That's the reality. I mean, here's a perfect example. Crypto is very similar to pirating movies. If you no KYC, buy like a Toyota Corolla or small items with Monero throughout your life, likelihood, and you just work a normal job, likelihood no one's going to care. No one's going to look at you. Just like if you pirated fucking, Bugs, Zootopia 2, no one's going to care. No one's going to be at your doorstep. But when you're doing tens of thousands of millions of dollars and you're pirating tens of thousands of movies, now you're going to ruffle some feathers, You might get unlucky and you might commit some crime and watch like a fucking Celtics game illegally, and you might get a fucking notice. Like, hey, your ISP might get a notice and they might send it to you. They're like, hey, stop doing that. We don't want to fine or whatever. But in the grand scheme of things, if you lay low and you convert your stuff to Monero, I mean, there's tons of companies that definitely commit crimes that should be definitely in prison and definitely fucking non-existent. But the it's the people that ruffle the feathers they care about. If you look at what do you call it? What the fuck is their name? The people that did Samurai Wallet. Perfect example. I don't even think it was more than $10 million. And that sounds like a lot. Like let's say $1 million. Let's say 100,000. Let's say they even did 100,000. Whatever. There are 10 hours battery life with Graphene OS. Based, as it should be. Even if they did $100,000 worth of transactions, and that's the fees they made, there are multi-billion-dollar companies that avoid taxes, commit crimes, unbelievable financial. Look at Sam Bankman-Fried. He got 5 years for defrauding people? That's fucking insane. That pile of shit, Jordan Belford, insane. He scammed people. He should be life in prison. He literally ruined people's lives. He was a terrible person, and now he has a TikTok. So I don't think you should pay taxes for XMR. Sure, I don't think you should pay taxes on capital gains for any investment you make. But the interesting thing is that I can't pay taxes in crypto in my country since the bank don't accept it. Then the bank doesn't even allow me to put money in my crypto wallet. You got to report it with your view keys. I mean, you can actually pay taxes. You can take your fiat money and pay it. You're gonna pay. It's like stocks that you don't sell, or you sell after a year and you bought a house. You don't have that money anymore. Whatever. You would pay your capital gains on it. Only 10 hours. And I don't think you should pay taxes on capital gains of assets that you decided to take the risk for. I agree with that. I think if I take the risk and I made the money with my money, I don't think the government should take a cut of that. I made the risk. I made the decision. But that's just the reality of it. I'm not going to complain. I mean, I can complain, but it's not going to get me anywhere. It doesn't matter. That's the thing about when you look at again Samurai Wallet, they just made software, and they got hit with a fucking financial crime, and they're doing life in prison. When Sam Bankman-Fried, if I had $100,000, I would store it in iTunes gift cards. The only immutable currency is iTunes vouchers. See, Code's got it. Sam Bank got 5 years. I don't think he got. I think he got 20 years. No, I think it is 5 years. That bitch got out too. The one who fucking worked with him. 25 years still. That's crazy. 25 years is nothing. And he can get parole. If it's 25 years with parole, that is baby years for what he did. Baby years. But if you, Mr. Moose, if you commit this kind of crime and you don't have a rich daddy and you don't have a fucking lawyer, life in prison. Cucks like this get fucking away with it. And I'm surprised they even gave him 25. I'm surprised they didn't just give him fucking community service. Because it happens all the time. I mean, look at Diddy. Look at any crime where these people, you're like, that looks like a life in prison type of crime, and it doesn't fucking matter. Sam Bankman-Fried ramps up Trump's support following. Of course, and that's the thing is and this person got fucking released, which is crazy, and ew, man, she looks like a demon. I need to make 1 minute articles, I swear. I need to stop writing so much. Ellison was released from minimal security federal prison early, only 440 days into her sentence, due to reports of good behavior. She'll be released onto a registered reality facility in New York. However, authorities will continue to restrict her business activities, as the ex-CEO will not be allowed to serve as an officer or director of a public company or a cryptocurrency exchange for the next decade. And that's it. For a decade. You can't do anything for the next decade. That's crazy. I don't think a person like that can change, but whatever. And maybe they can. I still think 25 years is pennies, because you are essentially defrauding people and you're a pile of shit. But if you do it, you can get life in prison. Oh, you committed tax fraud on not reporting your chocolate factory, Harry? Well, sorry. Life in prison. You know, shit like that. Ooh. The lack of open source hardware. Yeah, we're going to read this. This is going to be good. But that's the point is, again, people in the United States, I don't want to say they cosplay libertarians. They just pretend. They wave the flag. They put the yellow flag up with the snake. They drive a truck. They fuck their cousin. They fuck their sister or whatever. And they get these thoughts. They're like, wow, I hate where my money's going. I hate the return. I hate the use. I hate the blah, 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 whatever. And they're like, I shouldn't be taxed. And then they go back to Wendy's and they're like, would you like fries with that, sir? That's how it is. If you don't practice what you preach to a certain degree, and if you're not 25 years without parole, with no parole, good. 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 Because, I hate nothing more than financial crime lords getting away with essentially financial murder on people. And I do believe that there is a level of personal responsibility of people being like, I shouldn't invest in this. I'm not entirely sure. But what I don't like is all the YouTubers that were fucking shilling it and got no reparations, and they quietly were like, oopsies. This is my problem with YouTube sponsorships. YouTube sponsorships allow shitty YouTubers, like YouTubers like me, Kevin, Grant, whatever the fuck his name is, Andre Retard. I made around 1 cent from mining XMR. I guess I'm going to get beat up by the IRS now. Probably not. Anything, well, it depends on your country, actually. Countries, I believe in the U.S., it's anything under $600, you don't have to report. Damn, you're mining Monero or something? Not yet. I think in the U.S., it's like anything less than 600, you don't have to report. That'd be insane. You only have to report if it's over a certain amount. There's a threshold, and it's a silly threshold because you can just, if it's within the year, you could just report, again, there's so many loopholes. Discord says your message was sent tomorrow at 12 a.m. That's funny. There's so many loopholes. Don't hate the player, hate the system, kind of thing. There's a lot of tax. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna be careful with the loopholes because I'm watching a tax person rip into all these retard gurus. They're like, this is how you don't legally pay tax, kind of shit. Because tax code in the U.S. is super complicated. It's super complex. There's a lot of complex legal loopholes. There's a lot of non-complex legal loopholes. I'm in California, so it's 9 p.m. Oh. Interesting. Jay's in the past, guys. And tax people... Time zone east? What about time zone west? And the thing is... The thing is... And the problem is... tax attorneys love it that it's complicated because it makes retards like us, like the common people, not have really a chance without having to go through XYZ. It's a huge taxes in America is a huge, complex, multifaceted problem. That's the thing. Nothing's going to solve it. People say, end the IRS, end the taxes, blah, 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 whatever. Even though the state sucks balls, I will never leave because of the weather. Hey Jay, doesn't like fucking Arizona exist? It's the same thing. And you get hookers. And there's some people that like in companies they just leave the U.S. because they're like, fuck no. Like there's Canadians that leave, like that have like businesses. They'll leave. They're like, I'm not paying all this to see no return. And it's a fun fact. Some group in Europe uses an insect as a currency, and they don't pay taxes. Okay. That's Europe. And again, that would be, I wouldn't much rather choose cold over hot. Yeah, true, less bugs. Yeah, true, less bugs. Some groups in Europe, so, okay, I mean, that's esoteric. There's probably groups in the fucking random island that's owned by the U.S. that uses coconuts. And they're not getting taxed. I don't know how Puerto Rico works, though. I don't know how they're U.S. territory, so I don't know if they get taxed or anything. But that's just the reality of it. F or C? F. Of course. Do you think Jay's gonna do fucking Celsius? As a currency, and we don't know if they pay taxes or not. I mean, that's just. You're just saying like they use something as a currency and they don't pay taxes. They probably do. Links to site that you visit during your stream, please. Oh, thank you, Anonymous Tipped. I appreciate you. Anonymous Balls. You visit during your stream, please? Yeah, I can. Well, most of them are I2P sites, so that's really hard. I want Mr. Moose to give me the groups. Ah, man, this is going to be hard. Why the fuck did I ask that? 120 would be... Maybe I should use the word insect. Let's see what Duck AI says. Bees? And money linkage dates back to ancient civilization. That's kind of funny. Damn. Post links to sites you visit during the stream. Oh, this OPSEC Bible. This is a good. Damn. And then Sam Bent's doing dark web daily.live. This is a very good site. This actually has a link. It's like a link site of non-dead onion links. This isn't this can lead you down your own rabbit hole. But I don't know if XMR chat users can fucking see my restream. For anyone that's watching, just join the Discord. Anything I link ends up in the chat anyways. And if it doesn't, I can always grab it and relink it. Or if you prefer the more based and anonymous and cool option, we have a bridge between XMPP all the way from XMPP to Matrix to Discord. So they're all linked to each other. If you have a preferred platform and you want to interact with people but not have to make a Discord account, which I encourage, you can join the based XMPP server, and you can join. I gotta update. I think I have to update, but you can also join the Matrix server as well. I think I have to update my link site. Hyperland doesn't require you to log into Hyperland account to use. Why do people use fucking Hyperland though? I'm a Hyperland hater. I have to update my link site at some point because I think I don't have. I think I don't have my XR. I don't think I have my my XMPP server there, or I know I have Matrix. So if you're a Matrix user, you can hop in there as well, as you should. But these are two good sources. I'm gonna get some water real quick. Oh shit, seriously? Can I not use Discord? I feel like a retard. How am I learning this shit now? I'm literally mentally handicapped, man. Oh. Yeah, it's all bridged. Maybe I was fed up with disinformation from people I met regarding the bugs as a currency because as for a source I failed to find evidence. Yeah, you should never believe source. I mean, I'd have to look deeper. I'm not recording, but I do know gangs in my country use Poke cards as currency since I heard it on the news. No, there's probably a subset of cultures that use a barter system that the government doesn't give a fuck about, and they live their lives and they don't care. So there's actually a town in the U.S. We need to look at this. Sorry, my ADHD is kicking in, so we have to look at it real quick before I forget. So there is a town in, I think, the U.S. that uses its own currency. It's not sovereign. Sovereign citizens is a bunch of bullshit. Doesn't exist. And they have a weird mayor too. The U.S. region that prints its own. Apparently, Steve Wozniak, prints $2 bills legally. There's a legal way to do it. He legally does it, but it costs like $3 to do. So you're not making money doing it. Oh, yeah, Code, you can just join via Matrix or XMPP. They're abridged. One's just slower than the other. Why is it showing me this shit? There's a town in America that are there instructions how to set up this bridge? No, they are already bridged. Meaning when you log into the Matrix server, into the non-encrypted version and the XMPP server, you will message and it will leak to the Discord. They share across stream. They're cross streaming. They're like two cocks. that cross streams. No, there's God, where it's not something that someone fed me. I just came across it. There's no U.S. town with people say Slab City has no laws, but that's just retarded. See, mayor and is sovereign. I don't know how to spell that. I'm retarded. The towns that invent their own money. Man, it's gonna be a bitch to find this one. Nope. It's not it. Nope, this isn't it. I think this is it's a tiny town. Oh my god, I'm not a fucking robot! I forgot where I came across it, but it's a town that, like, they elect their own mayor, they have their own currency. It's kind of interesting. It might not even be around. I hate CAPTCHAs. I want to beat the fucking piss out of someone who invented this. There needs to be a better way. Are there instructions on how to set up this bridge? No. Yeah, they have like a... What the fuck is this shit? The town of Tenon, Washington is revving a concept. Economically struggling to resemble for 300 a week of their town's currency. Witherspoons? Oh man, how am I learning about just now? It's amazing. It literally runs 25 I literally run 25 gig QBMs for using Discord. I hate everything about Discord. Yeah, you don't have to be in the Discord. It's just convenient because more people have it, and it's just a reachability. But I bridged it. It broke, and then Billy helped me fix it. Billy fixed the bridge earlier. But there is a town. It's like a small... Yeah. A U.S. city decided to issue its own currency. No, I'm not.
Never heard of a town that issued its own currency. Welcome to the town of Tenon, Washington during the COVID-19.
Nope, this isn't it. Great. Now they have the word COVID in here. I'm gonna get fucking slapped into it with a big old information guideline under here. Some dumb shit. On thin planks of wood. Nope, that's not it. I think it's in Nevada. I'm trying to remember I saw it on a map. What is it? Small town makes its own. Small town makes its own laws and currency. Independent. It's not Slab City for anyone that's thinking. They definitely have laws. Its own laws and independent of the U.S. Has a mayor. I don't think I'm gonna find it. Nope. Town's legal power creating laws. Would be possible to start a new town in America. Nope. I need a tip. Weirdly, I've been having issues with Onion Share. Do you guys know a quick and easy app to share folders between hosts and isolated VMs? Guess OS. Outside of Cubes, no, I don't. Well, local send should. You should be able to do it over. Local send should work. or create a virtual USB. I ain't gonna find this. If I find it, guys, I'll link it in the Discord. It does exist. I'm not crazy. That's the point. That's the point of being of obtaining knowledge that no one asked for and that you don't know why you keep in your head for unknown reasons. So, but getting close. It's okay. I need to typically have an issue. Okay. All right. Here's one of the key points in open source community in general. And one of the problems that we run into is the lack of open source hardware, CPUs, motherboards, and GPUs. I don't think this is going to be solved anytime soon because money. But with RISC-V, which I think is more open source, and there are components coming out that are getting more and more and more and more and more in open source. But open source hardware is a vital thing. I will kind of disagree with it to a certain degree because once you realize that open source doesn't mean more safe and more secure, it just means kind of like it's kind of like a trust system. Like, hey, we decided to open source it. People can audit it, look at it. And generally, if there is anything malicious in the background, most people would throw red flags. Or if something looked a little funky. The problem with this is, as we learned before from other people that have pointed out, Ken Thompson's backdoor in a C compiler is one of the leading factors that you are still giving a level of trust. First, you have to understand how to read the code. Second, you have to understand that there could be a malicious backdoor put into the system without you even knowing. This is entirely possible, undetectable, and completely doable from a hardware perspective to do as well. Hardware coding is I think believed mostly done in assembly. So unless you understand assembly, and you're going to the lowest level, there is a possibility that even if we open source hardware, there still could be malicious software malicious hardware to have backdoors put into them. This isn't like a virtue signal or anything or trying to scare people away, but in reality, you are still giving some form of trust to the hardware vendors all the way down to essentially the software that runs on your computer. I mean, there's supply chain attacks that can be done. If you look at the Lenovo Superfish incident, where they put not just a backdoor, they put their own the root trust certificate authority injected it into the system itself, so it looked like you had a valid signed certificate, but they could see everything in plain text. And this was only discovered a year, I think, less than a year or maybe a year after it was done. So that is something to also put in the back of your mind, that you could have, obviously not good software or hardware running on your system, and you would never know. Food for thought, though. So why open source hardware is vital? When we're talking privacy, we have one key requirement. It must be open source. If you can't know the inner details of your system, then you can't tell if the manufacturer has the ability to spy on you through their product. It's a matter of transparency, and to be able to verify that you are not being spied on, you must be able to inspect the ins and outs of your system in its entirety. Only after having verified the entire system can proclaim that you have privacy from the manufacturer, in this case, while using the system. I believe this is the argument for an open source BIOS, is that you can then go inspect it and make sure that when you have assigned keys, I believe we have to look at the root trust. It's also true that browsers, you need to know some assembly to change the main function of behavior after applying the V8 heap on Chromium-based browsers. Yeah. The root of trust is hardware is secure foundation, ensuring the integrity and security of computing system, typically containing cryptographic keys and enabling secure operations like booting and data protection. It is designed to be inherently trusted and must be secure to prevent vulnerabilities. This is something I think that doesn't really exist in Linux in general. There is something called Trench Boot that we've looked at before. Trench Boot is kind of cool. Not that. So Trench Boot itself doesn't have any special requirements. It just requires the target OS or hypervisor as a base. However, the same can't be said for vendors' DRTM implementation and the difference between vendors. For Intel, you need TXT-capable chipset and TXT-capable CPU. In addition, a trusted platform module is required. It shouldn't make a difference whether it's a discrete chip, DTPM, or a firmware TPM running in the CPU's trust executed environment, but version 1.2 or 2.0 must be supported by the process. And more specifically, the SNINT authenticated core module and ACM for given CPU families. For more information, blah blah blah. AMD and then caveats, but. Trench Boot is a framework that allows individuals and projects to build secure engines to perform launch integrity actions for the system. The framework builds upon boot integrity technologies that establish one or more roots of trust, from which degree the confidence that the integrity actions were not fucked around with. I think I misunderstood what one guy said. The Anthem Hitler isn't used as a currency. It was just sold on the black market for illegal poaching. Misrepresenting happens from a language barrier. Sorry for the time. No, don't be sorry. You're good. People have different opinions and different ideas and I embrace all of them. I embrace ideas. It doesn't mean I support ideas, I guess. But I like people that come up with their own thoughts and opinions. I mean, that's what's good about society. You're entitled to think differently. There is no such thing as time wasted. The only time you waste something is when you don't spend time learning and arguing with people on the internet. Trademark, 2026. Copy left. No copyright. Use case definition. Wow. Trench Boot is meant to be a universal framework for enabling building integrity in the launch process of a system. To relate a real-world usage, it is good to have a set of cases that explain it. Cloud source integrity, There's currently no known public authority available to verify BIOS firmware PCR values. TrenchBoot would like to become such an authority, but there is a challenge to obtain all these values and a matter that provide an assurance to the authenticity of the values. Crowdsource providing the best means to collect the largest and most derived set of values. Travel laptop 2FA launch. When traveling, there are times where an individual loses positive control of their device. During these times, attackers can launch physical access attacks. For configuration, TrenchBoot will double chain wrap the encryption key for decrypting the system, where each chain wrap correlates to an authentication factor. Working in internal and external, the system drive key is encrypted with the first wrap key and is in turn encrypted with the second wrap key. The first wrap key is stored on a removable token device like a YubiKey, which you can do, by the way, is pretty based. For the second wrap key, it is sealed in a TPM NVR RAM slot. For a system to boot, it must have launched with the correct firmware and the token must be present. That would be kind of based, kind of cool. This is only from June 2025. Network attestation launch. An individual or enterprise may not want to allow a system to boot on their network unless it's running a known configuration. When TrenchBoot is installed on a system, it will work in conjunction with TrenchBoot ACA, a public or private instance, and provide a key management service. TrenchBoot will hold a portion of the Shamir secret sharing key with another portion held by the key management service. That is a really cool scheme, by the way. With another portion held by key management services. For the system to boot, it will test to the key management service to obtain key fragments, and this will allow you to unlock the system disk. Theory. The general execution flow for TrenchBoot is broken into three phases: bootstrap, intermediate, and runtime. The bootstrap phase primarily consists of the existing bootstrap technology, UEFI, and Grub and UEFI shim. For TrenchBoot, the bootstrap technologies have been in integrity function, referring to as the boot integrity. So, bootstrap phase, intermediate phase, runtime. Very cool, interesting, but essentially it allows a more secure environment, as it should always be. A root of trust is a security foundation for system on a chip and other semiconductor devices. A system, however, its meaning differs depending on who you ask. For our perspective, the hardware root of trust contains the keys for cryptographic functions, usually part of the secure boot process, providing the foundation of software chain of trust. As you should always trust the software chain. This is something why it matters. You have OS and applications, but that's essentially what it is. It's a transparency thing, a root of trust thing, and it's not widely adopted everywhere yet. So you have the OS and the applications, you have the kernel, which is the next layer over, and then you have the assembler, which is assembling obviously the program, you have the firmware, and then you have the hardware, the lowest. When we're talking computers, we have 5 basic layers. We have the OS and applications, matrix chat. We have the kernel, the Linux kernel, written in C, should be in Rust based. The assembler, direct CPU instructions derived from the C compilation. And then we have layer 1, the firmware. X, the low-level software to provide control over CPU, motherboard, GPU. Simple to understand. I run open source firmware. Hardware, your motherboard, CPU, Ethernet port. The problem is, if you have closed source hardware such as Intel AMD CPU or an NVIDIA graphics cards or an MSI motherboard, you can at most have open source software and protocols all the way down to layer 2. This is true, but not further below. That's because you have hardware manufacturers creating products, and they are keeping the methods of how they create them a proprietary secret. Some of these ways they create this, because we live in a weird competition world, they essentially keep these super secret, even down to somehow how they produce their chipsets. Like everything's a secret. They have NDAs, they have guards, they have like military contracts sitting out there to snipe anyone looking into it. Blah, blah, blah. You know. I still use the military-grade encryption to encrypt my Feet archive that I bought from Feet Finder with Amazon gift cards. Remember, military is the bare standards, not the best standards. You should use based encryption, aka quantum resistance, aka PicoChat, aka not an FBI honeypot encryption scheme. Something that I rolled myself. That's because you have hardware manufacturers for that. Because you can't audit yourself, you can't tell if there's spyware backend or not. That's true. The least privilege is ring 3. Obviously, ring 0. The lower you go, the more access it has. Even GPUs are kind of crazy. For examples, AMD's PSP or Intel's management system, which are both alleged backdoors implemented directly in consumer CPUs. In this case of Intel's processing chipsets, all CPUs since 2008 are to be considered backdoor by Intel Management Engine, and there's nothing you can do about it without knowing it's Intel's secret way to disable. It is located in the platform control hub of modern Intel motherboards. Check out this video for a deep dive into Intel Management Engine from C3663 2019. Again, I think it's kind of one of those things people really pay attention to, like those two things, when there's like 60 other problems. And those things they are addressed, and I think they are being solved with the options of open source firmware. I disabled Intel Management Engine on my PC. I also run Coreboot, and it's not fully open source like LibreBoot. It has some proprietary blobs. And I try to ensure that my system is running as secure as possible. Intel Management Engine is not I don't see it as a need, but if I can disable it, I will disable it for my personal perspective. But if you have Intel Management Engine on your system, you should focus elsewhere and not trip about it, in my opinion. Regarding non-free firmware, even Debian has been forced to accept the reality in 2022 in their general resolution vote. In short, now ships with non-free firmware by default because 99.99999% of the people out there are running closed source hardware, CPUs, and GPUs. This is true. This is why CubesOS will never be accepted as the free software foundation level of open source. TLR, if you use a closed source hardware, you won't be able to get an open source firmware for the CPU, GPU, or motherboard. You cannot ever be 100% sure that your hardware itself contains a spying mechanism because you can't check it yourself, be it in your motherboard, CPU, GPU, or network interface. That's true. You could be sitting on hardware that's spying on you right now. I mean, I could too. I mean, it could be stealing secrets right from my voice, right from this microphone isn't open source. I'm fucked, guys. I've been compromised. Let my family know. It is not a good time. And I don't necessarily think this is the most insane problem. A lot of the free and open source hardware that we're getting to isn't good yet. And until mass adoption becomes easy available and people can use it in an easier manner, it's not gonna catch on. Not everyone tinkers like me. Microprocessors make shareholder value year of any day. Intel 51%, AMD. Well, yeah, you can look at the money, of course. In short, the market is currently underly dominated and saturated by these profit companies which are selling closed source hardware. Yeah, go figure. Money talks, brother. Open source hardware as a concept is not even a thing for them. It's all proprietary hardware and firmware because they're afraid. I miss the days where malware came with GTA Vice City DVDs from Shady Guy working on a bookstore selling pirated games to me and my friends back in the middle school. Well, I don't know what middle school you went to. Our current state is open source hardware on the market. The MTM Reform, the ultimate open hardware laptop. I would like to get this, but it's just super expensive. It's $1,200. That's insane to me. I don't think I would ever pay that much for something. Here we have the example of the M2 Reform selling a laptop that you can entirely repair by buying the hardware yourself, from the batteries to the keyboard to the monitor, hell, even the motherboard. But still, even here, the CPU isn't and its firmware are not open source. For the rest, they try to maintain the open hardware requirement. They ship the laptop with electrical schemes for you to look through them and see if it holds true that they aren't spying on you. Check this video out for the full unbox review of the laptop. That's cool. Another candidate is RISC-V CPU architecture aimed at dethroning the two CPU giants, but the project is still trying to pick up speed and adoption. I don't think it's fully open source either. I think it's... Therefore, I'll conclude the following. For every privacy purpose that we use tools that we have at our disposal, even if it means that using open source software on a closed source software until the market finally embraces fully open source. It looks like Game Boy Advance SP. It looks cool. There's two things I like. It's thick. We need thick laptops, and it looks like it has enough I/O ports. It's just $1,200. That's crazy. And I get it. They're all sources public, modifiable, reproducible. I mean, we're getting there. Jeff Geerling does a lot of content on RISC-V, and it's not nowhere near stable yet. I'll even say the Nova Custom is much thicker than I thought it was going to be, which is a good thing. I like a thick, durable laptop. I don't like thin I don't know why we like thin laptops, and we like losing I/O ports. Like, Jesus Christ. Have we hit the wall of innovation where we want these thin-ass laptops? What's wrong with a thick laptop? Don't you want to be able to drop it and it not fucking crumble at the idea of touching the floor one time? And then there's Pine 64, which is kind of unfortunate because they're running into, they just aren't producing like they are. Pine 64. I think they have a RISC-V tablet. What OS would I run on that? Probably Void or Gen 2. I mean, if I wanted to experiment with something I haven't touched a lot of, maybe BSD. I would definitely like to do like OpenBSD or FreeBSD. I have an Intel RTP on my laptop, so I can't run any OpenBSD. But once they fucking send me my lower screen resolution, I will be able to test with maybe OpenBSD or FreeBSD. I'm not entirely sure. It should be only purchased for people to bring up processes of Linux and BSDs. Like, sick tablet, and I wonder if you can buy it still. It's very sad that they had to shut down production with the Pine phone. It's very sad. The Pine Note is cool. I got their Pine Buds. Excellent. I have the Pine Pencil. Excellent. There is a Raspberry Pi Zero that looks like GBA. Just install Arona Linux. It's really cool and very artistic. Arona Linux? Is it based on Debian? Because if it is, you already know what I'm going to say. I mean, $200 is really cheap. That's a pretty good price for something that's RISC-V and ship with their own battery. ARM is cool, but this would be cooler. This would be cool. I wonder if Cubes OS can be installed on this. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. software. I want to be able to put CubesOS on a tablet, guys. Nope. Let's see. Oh, new 64 release. Pine 64. Okay, so this is for the Pine A64 and Pine 64 Plus. Debian, DiPi, some other stuff. Oh, Pine Phone. Maybe Pine Phone. You can install Parrot OS. Oh, really? That'd be kind of cool. I don't know what its relationship with RISC-V is. So fucking butthurt about this one. I have a Pine Phone, too. I like it. There's actually a port to make FreeBSD to work on this. Someone ported it. Like, there's a group of people that are working on it. It's pretty cool. And there's a way you can do Fedora. I never got Fedora working, but... No, I did get Fedora working. I couldn't get Gentoo working because I'm retarded. But this was like a long time ago. Huh? Pine Tab 2, there you go. Releases? With Dantix Arch Linux, the latest factory image. Okay. Fedora Workstation, nice. Boots normally without requiring additional configuration. LunaOS, Mobian, NixOS Boo. Plasma Mobile, Postmarket, okay, Rhino Linux, Ubuntu Touch. Yo, Void Linux. Based. What is that one guy? There's this Parrot has installation for the Raspberry Pi Objective. But personally, I think the best Linux handheld would be Hackberry. Never used it. Oh, that'd be sick, though. Void Linux. There was someone that was building. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find this one. This was it. A fork of Void Linux for XFCE called Genesis and the default desktop. Someone made a. This was before I was even a Void Linux user, but someone was working on this, and it was super fucking cool, and I was ready to install it, and it was just fucking. I don't think it's been worked on. Yeah, it's been worked on in fucking 2 years. I don't think it's even being worked on anymore. I'm gonna have to check. Yeah, 2024, 2025, September. Maybe it's very experimental. They didn't even have. They just kept saying will work soon, will come soon. Hackberry is basically Raspberry Pi computer and the BlackBerry phone. Nice. Is it finally downloadable? Yeah, see? This shit sucks! This was so cool. I could have had Void Linux. Mobile. And like, I'm a huge fan of Graphene OS. I think Graphene OS is great. I think it's the best secure option. I think it's the best mobile option that we have. But I like to experiment and touch different stuff. That's why I kind of like the idea of the Jollaphone. And if the Jollaphone gets... But that's very expensive. It's like $1,000 almost. $600. I like the idea, but the last time I put money into... I don't mind putting money into something and it just not going anywhere with the free and open source option. Because I know that it's not... I take the risk of it. We're bringing back the iconic The Other Half Open Innovation Platform. What? What's that? What's The Other Half? The Other Half is a swappable back cover that does more than protect your phone. It transferred to the original Jollaphone 2013 Pioneer with the open ICE2C interface and NFC-enabled covers that change themes behavior just by swapping. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh. Productivity keyboard style. So it gives it another it gives it another we're taking the other half even further. We'll open source the hardware, software, interface specs so anyone can design, 3D print, order, produce their own modules. That's based. Just a question, is Kodachi Linux better than Tails? God, no. Oh my god, I would not use that pile of shit. Oh my god. No. No, I forget. Every now and then people bring up Kodachi Linux. Pile of dog shit. Here's the easiest solution. Tails. How much bandwidth do you think would be enough between the phone and... I don't know. Oh my god. A productivity keyboard? I'm sorry. Physical keyboards on phones suck. They're small and they're gay. People just make stuff. DAC would be sick. LoRa would be sick. Extra battery would be sick. E-ink display would be sick. Zigbee. Oh god, yeah. Kadocha, just not good. I'll put it that way. There's blogs that break down how terrible it is. How often would you have to change Sci-Fi Corner, Dream Big? Such a cool... See, this is the thing. I like cool stuff like this because it gives... I mean, you're better off. The main issue with Linux smartphones is the compatibility issue. True. With essentially apps like Bank ID apps. I don't know if WageOid or Luna. So I tested WageOid. It's functional. It's not good. I haven't touched it in a long time, but it is functional. Solves the issue due to the play integrity. I would just say use Progressive Web App if you can, because it's probably the easiest option. Unless your country requires you to do it. But having expandable storage to 2 terabytes is awesome. Sailfish support for Android apps with Jalla app support. That's kind of cool. User replace back cover with color options. User replaceable battery. That's awesome. Physical privacy switch. That's kind of a gimmick. The physical privacy switch is a gimmick, though. Super cool. If this goes out and I make enough on YouTube, I would take that money and throw it towards it just to test it. Because it's a cool concept. I would do black, though. That color orange is disgusting. Directly contribution making a product reality. 7-inch. But the only problem with this stuff like this is it's not really... I don't like the idea that these are more private. Because we don't know. And we can have people that could open it up and prove them probably wrong. the main issue with Linux smartphones is not even just app compatibility layer. It's just people gotta care. First off, if you don't have the support for Signal or like actually end-to-end encrypted communications, you're defaulting to SMS. SMS isn't private. It's the worst. It's the worst option you have. The second problem is if it has no native sandboxing, then your applications don't really have a point to be private or secure, because if they can cross each other, then you're essentially achieving nothing. I don't think that there is a problem with people wanting to use this. I think the privacy and security. I would like the EU to adopt the Jello phones for digital sovereignty from the US. France is already moving to open source and banning Microsoft Teams. That's surprising, but France is also a pile of shit right now because they're really for chat control. They're one of the leading enjoyers of chat control, so I would not like that. I think it's cool that the EU is doing this because the EU spends a lot of money. Their GDP is not small, and they spend a lot of money. So when they spend a lot of money and they start dropping tech companies, and these tech companies start noticing that, they will adopt. I mean, Apple did it. They adopted to the EU standard of the Type-C because the EU said so. They're like, you need to standardize this. I have sausage fingers and literally so more things that I type already looks obfuscated. Yeah, imagine fucking physical keyboards, guys. They suck. Touchscreen keyboards are better. It changed my mind. Yeah, France attacked the Graphene OS team and jailed the guy for having Tor browser on his PC. Yeah. Pile of shit. Pile of shit country. Maybe not, and I'm not saying the people. I don't want people to think it's like I hate the French people. But that is completely unacceptable. And they're not the only ones. There's a ton of support for chat control. This is my problem with the EU. When they decide something, even if you disagree with it, even if the vast majority of it thinks that that's a good idea, you disagree with it, they can just go through with it. They can just be like, we don't care if you disagree with it. We're going to put it through. It's very difficult to shoot something down. This is the second time that chat control has even came back into light. This isn't the first time that it's been shot down. It keeps coming back, so there's clearly no stopping it. The U.S. isn't doing anything better. There's already about 25 states that are doing some form of digital ID, which I disagree with. People keep trying to cope. Sorry to hear that you're in the UK. Unfortunate British moment. Would you like me to put a boo on there for you? The problem is in the United States, right now, we do have one benefit. If a Supreme Court judge or a ruling finds something unconstitutional, they can strike it down. It doesn't matter if they think it's a good idea. If somebody finds something unconstitutional, this is where the U.S. kind of like shines, is we have different legislative branches to be like, fuck no, and they can shoot something down, and it'll get shot down. It'll get blocked. And because it gets blocked, it allows us to have more time to convince the retard that's trying to pass it why he's retarded. This is one thing that I do like about the United States, in the sense, is we do have a slight better democracy on things where they can be overstepped. Someone's like, I don't like that. Like, there's tons of cases of people doing kind of like, publicly annoying things, but it's a test of free speech. And then I think chat control is from U.S. surveillance companies, Thorn, lobbying. There probably is. There's probably a lot of global influence that is pushing for something like this. And if the UK and the European Union adopt it, the U.S. isn't far behind. I'm not saying that we're not going to get there. We already have 25 states that do a form of digital ID. But in Texas, somebody blocked it. Thank fuck for that. Because I want to see more states do that. There's a few other states that are blocking it. They literally think it's... I literally cannot use Gemini CLI because Gmail won't authenticate me older than 18 on live camera authentication. Jesus Christ. I don't know if I would ever use. I didn't know they did that. I didn't know they did a live authentication. Just make an AI version of yourself 10 years older. So I don't think we're far off. And, I mean, we literally want Palantir to be some fucking safe haven for all our data, which is the biggest fucking retarded thing I've ever seen. Anyone championing that is silly. And anyone saying there's good intentions of not having your the government being like, I think we need to find a way to, no, fuck you, be a parent, and don't have your kids go on the fucking internet. It's that simple. Just be a parent. Be an adult. You don't need to get your kids a smartphone. They don't need a smartphone. We lived without smartphones for hundreds of years. You can get them a flip phone and move on. And have a conversation with them. Don't you, in the U.S., already have Palantir used by ICE? Yeah. But they want to continue to grow. There's nothing we can do about that. I mean, yeah, don't get me started on that shit. But, bro, I look like Richard Stallman. Google auth is retarded. Just do a picture of Richard Stallman, actually. What are they going to do? Say it's not you? But there isn't a really good solution besides poisoning the well with your data, using a VPN to get out of the country that's forcing it, or just don't use social media. I mean, that would be the best option. The sad part is their parents just need to be parents and just get into their kids' lives and just be like, hey, you shouldn't be on social media. It's probably not a good idea. And get off social media in front of them. Do it with them. Fucking touch grass. Who cares, like, if their friends don't like it? Like, oh, bro, you can have Snapchat or TikTok? Oh, my God. No one cares that much. No one's going to fucking clown on it. If you clown on your friend because they don't fucking TikTok, fuck you. Like, kind of thing. It's just, I think parents need to just step in and get off TikTok themselves. It's like, bro, you're 40. And you're dancing. What's wrong with you? And the fact that I think TikTok is being bought by a U.S. company is not good. I already saw that. The U.S. is like, sir, only we can collect data, not China. And it's fucking, we live in Clown Town right now. We live truly in a clown universe. Digital ID won't stop kids from using the social media. Yeah. In China, the parents just straight up give their ID card to the kids so they can, yeah, literally. I could think of 30 different workarounds, and AI is getting better. AI is getting better. You have a brother. You have parents. You have fucking. You could just fake it. You can use a VPN where it's not being legally enforced yet. I mean, oh my God, Tor. Imagine TikTok I2P edition. My dad uses Tinder. Obviously, boomers dating market is booming, I guess. Nah, I think people just get on Tinder because they're like, what was the Tinder before Tinder? Wasn't it like in the US it was, I'm pretty sure, Match.com? I think this was the dating site. Yep, Match.com. Still around. We're here to help you find it. What is there? It's free? No, you don't. I hate when they say they value your privacy. No, they don't. You can't value privacy and send ads. I thought they cost. Half the shit's bots, too. Like, I think they've said they're bots. You're competing. Bro, we need ITP Tinder. It kind of already exists. There's called Duolicious. Just meet people in public. Just meet people in public. Yeah. Oh, they blocked me. I gave them. It's like, Duolicious is like fucking Tinder for fucking 4chan users. And then there's Aloha. I don't know if it's still maintained though. I'm in the UK. I have to use a VPN to look at the media medical cannabis subreddit. That's crazy. Wait. So for you to look at the medical cannabis subreddit, they know you're in the UK and they block you? That's fucking insane. I would fight some, but you can look at r/beer. This is it. It's called Aloha or something. Here it is. Aloha. That's what it is. There's something called Compass? Huh. Yeah, it demands face scan to verify. God damn! That's crazy. A transparent platform for forming deep, authentic one-to-one connections. I should check this out. I'll be like, hey ladies, do you guys use Void Linux or Gen 2? Oh, you don't? I'm out. Don't swipe, search. Wow, finally a dating finally a dating platform that has a GitHub. Imagine, don't worry, your data is safe with us. Yeah, that's fucking psycho. That's psychotic. Oh, nice. Your first regarding I2P social medias, I've seen many chat apps use Tor, but they're IRC is all I know of. There's probably more. I2P has a huge adoption with like a lot of FOSS ways to communicate with people. It's just less known because it's an intranet. This is kind of funny because imagine like getting rejected because you don't know what a vector database is or something like that, or you tell a girl you use Nano. You're like, yeah, I use Nano by the way, and they're like, they just fucking like unmatch you. No, not just your values, your ideas. You should be like Dave, like your values should be like use use only communicate through PGP email. Show me your PGP show me your PGP keys. Sorry. Is a free open source platform to help people find deep, meaningful connections. Yes, you can find our media coverage in the press page. Wow, based on, of course, it's going to be fucking like Germans that use this shit. They're like, guys, I found. What is your stance on? What is your stance on Rust versus C? I reject anyone who even's name is on Tinder. Yeah. Well, don't use Tinder anymore, man. Use Compass, the free and open source option. You might find a real woman that exists via what do you call it? Like you can ask them like, I tell girls I don't know about computers and they're like trekking in nature. That's fine. That's smart. I tell women on the first date, I'm like, if you don't download Signal, we can't talk after this. I'm like, how would you like to compile software with me right now? No? You should just do speed dating. it's cool to see that it's this is pro dating script. This is probably the coolest one. Flirt Bees is a video dating social network. Yeah. Yeah, no. Open one issue. 6 forks, though. I don't know if Alova is still maintained, though. It's on F-Droid, baby. Non-profit. I like non-profits, too. Kumi. Proprietary, though. I think location works free, but location doesn't work well. I'm getting girls from everywhere. What's wrong with that? Women across the world? And then Dualicious is for just like schizophrenics. They use 4chan. But guys, it's open source. And free, as in freedom. You have to remember that. So remember to find your free and open source girlfriend in 2026. Or boyfriend, whatever you're into. No judgments here. We like people of all outlooks on life. Legal outlooks on life. Let me rephrase that. Based, guys. Well, I've given 2 hours and 42 minutes of my time. Holy shit. Thought that was going to end in like 42 minutes ago. Lost track. Based, thank you for joining me on this afternoon into the Spideyverse. I appreciate everyone that has stopped by. Remember to comment below your favorite type of fruit. If it's not a mango, 500 years of bad luck. And if you don't like mangoes, fuck you. Mango good, other fruit also good. Fruit good in general. And don't forget to like and share the videos so that YouTube knows that I'm a real person. I love all their policies and I don't hate anything they do. Remember to walk your snail, and I'll see you guys in the next one.